Hi everybody, this is Erin from ePapery, and today I am having some fun using some inks and some old book pages, trying to, just do something fun. So I'm using my Dr. P.H. Martin's Bombay ink straight from the dropper and just some regular water in a spray bottle. And I'm taking out my stencils. I do not have a jelly plate, so I don't get to do any fun jelly plating kind of things. So I thought this might be a fun way to maybe get some fun effects. This was purely an experiment, so seeing what happens. So I drop the ink on on the book page, spritz it with water, along with the stencil, and then I put the deck of the book over the top, and this is the effect that I get. And so I dry the book page that's on the stack of the deck. I don't know what you call that. The deck, the book page. Anyway, my brain's kind of shorting today. So, and then I respray the original book page, and then I do another pressing and just kind of give it a good press. Try not to wiggle it around, but just give it a nice, good, even press. You could maybe use a brayer, and you'll find as we get a little further in, second, third, even fourth pressings, we're starting to really get that stencil design. We're really getting some gorgeous mixing and blending of the colors onto that book page. And so I just had so much fun with this technique. So I'm going to show you several different things that I did. So this one was with purple and teal, I believe, or purple and blue. I did find that this method works better with kind of curlicue type of stencils. And I really like the range that I'm getting. I found that, as the pressings go and I spritz with water, they get lighter and lighter. But then I've got some that are really deep and moody. And I've just been having so much fun using these since I've done them. So just so much fun, and it was so almost meditative. So yeah, having just a lot of fun. I'm showing this video at about 2.5 times speed right now, and then as we get a little bit further in, I'm gonna actually speed this up. So let's take a look. And yeah, I think I might do one more. Yeah, one more. One more. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Pressing, pressing, pressing. Okay, and peel it up. And yeah, this one's starting to get just very, very light and subtle, and it makes a great background. You can collage over the top of this. You could use this for tags. I've used it as backgrounds on a journal page so far. You can make envelopes from these, pockets from these. I mean, it's just great. So at this point, I've decided I've probably inked about as much as I can from that one little dropping of ink. So I'm going to dab up the excess water. I'm going to dry just enough. I don't want to warp my stencil, but I do want to fix that ink into place on the page. And you'll see that original book page, even though we've blobbed ink all over the place and we've spritzed it, like crazy, we're still getting a really interesting design and a really interesting blend of colors. So this page is still very usable. So I'm going to keep this too. And I'm going to wipe up. Dab my stencil off. Okay, what should I try next? Checkerboard. I thought, ooh, this might be kind of fun. So I spritz down my book page. I kind of wipe it all down a little bit, let that water soak in. I'm going to put that stencil on top. I'm picking my colors out. I'm going to try for kind of that traditional red. I didn't go black though in this case. I think I did. I chose brown. Yep, brown. Spritzy, spritzy, spritzy. Just like all kinds of water. You want that stuff just flowing like crazy. So first pressing. Nah. I find that my first pressings are never really that exciting, but they still give like a nice color blend and just at least something different. And these book pages are still great for collaging. So fun, you know. So I'm going to spray this down again and let's see what we come up with this time. You'll have to excuse the state of my manicure. I'm not always great about remembering to redo my nails. See, that one's better. Then, you know, we're at least, you know, getting that checkerboard pattern on the book, which I think is more interesting. And our red is definitely starting to, you know, lighten up more into kind of a faded pinky red. But I will say that this particular stencil altogether did not excite me as much as the other ones that I did. I was really kind of bummed because I thought, oh, geometrics might be really kind of cool. And it just, I don't know. Maybe if I tried this one with different colors. I will say that certain colors in this particular brand of inks did work better with this technique than others. Some are weaker and they tend to dilute a lot faster, or I don't know, like fixed into place or something. I don't know. The pinks, the reds, and the browns and the oranges tend to fade out pretty quickly, whereas the blues and the purples and you know, those colors, and the black is very, very strong and tends to dominate. So that's something you'll definitely want to be careful of, and we'll see some of that happening pretty quick here. So I'm just going to dry this original one off. And actually, you know, this one turned out, I think, like the original page that I put the ink on and the stencil on, I think turned out just as well as any of the pressings that I did. I kept all those pages and, you know, I'm still using them. But like I said, this particular grouping wasn't my favorite. So I didn't go very far with that particular stencil. Meh, you know, putting that one away. So what should we try? What should we try? Okay, mandala, snowflakey kind of stencil. I'm going back to something that's a little bit more curly Q filigree type of design, and I'm going back in, I think, with a teal and some blue. And then this one, I think I decided I was going to try the white. And yeah, unfortunately, this one, my ink was like really super thick in the bottle. It's been sitting for a bit. It didn't want to dilute. It didn't want to flow very well. So the white, I think, was a bit of a mistake, but the rest of the colors looked gorgeous. So I kind of got in there with my finger. I'm like, come on, get going, you know. So it mixed in. It did stay very white, but we still got some pretty good results from this. So let's... I just had to use, I think, a lot more water, and it took maybe a couple of pressings for us to get something that looked really good. So, like, you know, still some really interesting, distressy, patina-y, you know, looking book page, which is great for collage. I'm definitely going to use it. meh, you know. But let's spritz some more and see what we get. Okay. Yep, yep. Disappointment again. Um, you know, this is why we experiment, and this is why I'm using old book pages, because I have got a lot of those to use up. And I was like, you know, at the very least, I end up with colored book page, which is not the worst thing in the world. So okay, okay. Let's do it again. I didn't spritz this time. I'm just going right back to the stencil and I'm doing another pressing, and I'm just determined I'm going to get something that looks good. Come on. Come on. Yes. I'm happy with that one. I'm happy with that one. Now I'm finally starting to see that design come through. So that's making me happy. So we're gonna go with that. Drying that one off. And I think we're gonna do another couple pressings on this stencil before we move on. Yes. All right, I did spritz a couple of times on that one, doing another pressing here. And we'll see what we get. There we go. Yeah, that one's looking really good too. Like I said, I'm still kind of on the fence about the white, you guys. What do you think? It does kind of look almost like copper patina or something like that, kind of mixed in there with the teal and whatnot, but it was thick and it was kind of, it didn't really flow very well. It kind of stayed blotched into its spot. So what do you guys think of how this one turned out? Let me know in the comments. All right. And you see how many pressings we're getting out of just, you know, that one application of ink, and how many book pages we're getting out of each pressing. I think this is just a great, you know, we're getting a lot of mileage out of the ink that we're using. So this one's a lot more subtle. I'm also really starting to love kind of that pooling of ink that's happening around the edges of the book pages as the inks soak through to the pages behind. All right, so I think that was the last one that I did on this. And we're gonna just dry up this, yep, dab, dab, dab. Gotta get all that water up, all that, any excess ink that's still kind of pooling around the stencil. I'm gonna dry it just to kind of fix that ink in place. This Bombay ink it's water reactive until it's dry, and then it's permanent, which is nice because I can still distress ink over it or stamp over it or watercolor over it or whatever, and it's not going to move once it's all dry. So that's kind of the fun part of this. And then I'm going to speed the video up now while we do the rest of the stencils. This next one I'm going to do is I'm going to do the inks in kind of a stripe across the page while I do some floral stencils. And this is the first time I'm bringing black into the picture. So this is, you'll see just how dominant that black becomes. I actually end up reapplying the green and the pink ink and not reapplying the black because it was just so dominant. And then I was getting some really nice results that way, because it was bringing that pink and green back in just a little bit stronger, and that black was still present there, but it just wasn't quite so strong, and that was turning out really nicely. So what I was trying to achieve was kind of like the deeper color at the base, with the green kind of towards the leafy parts, and then pink up towards the tips or at the flowery end, is what I was trying to do. So that was the first pressing after I'd reapplied the green and the pink ink, which is, again, first pressing doesn't look that awesome. But I think this next one was pretty good. Yes. That one looks good. I love my reactions. I'm like, woo! It worked. So another spritz and another pressing, and let's see what we get. Yes, and that's another good one. And this one, I could fussy cut around each individual piece if I wanted to, and I think that would look really cool. I'm really loving how this set turned out. We'll definitely use these. I love green and pink as a color combination. What do you guys think? What are your favorite color combos? I'm always looking for inspiration to use, and I kind of keep gravitating back towards my old favorites, So challenge me with some new color combinations. I'm looking for inspiration. So, but even this first one, just look how deep and moody that black gets, on that pink one. And with that green, it just looks fantastic. I could almost see like putting a fairy, on that, or with some sparkles or something. I think it would look just really cool. And I get the back of that one got really wet. All right. And I'm going to do a butterfly. And I'm going to go with traditional monarch colors. I'm going to use that black again, but I'm being very sparing with it. And you'll see that like that black just goes all over the place. It is crazy. And I kept it out towards the edges. And it's like, wow, it just goes absolutely crazy all over the place. But I still love the way that these turned out. That second pressing looks really good. So this starting to look, you're not really seeing a whole lot of orange in there, but I think it's still giving just a really cool effect. So I added some more orange. It's probably gonna look pretty blobby again, this next one. Actually, that one turned out really good. I think the butterflies honestly are my favorite. I actually wish I had some smaller butterfly stencils to do so that I could cut them out, and use, because these are pretty big, to use. But I think in one of the pages that I used one of these on, I cut it down and it worked out. But I think just using that as a background just to kind of give that hint of a little something interesting. Okay, we're gonna see how that one. See, I think even that one turned out really good, like that base page. you can still see that butterfly impression in there, and I think that looks really cool. I think if I take some gel pens and do some doodling over the top of that or something, it's going to look really, really kind of neat. Or some painting over the top of it. I think that could look cool. So stay tuned. You'll see these popping up in some videos, I'm sure. I'm going to definitely do this again. This was a lot of fun. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is this something that you would do? Is this something that you would use? Do you like watching me experiment with crazy things and seeing ugly stuff? All right, let me know, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.